Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reniker, Justin Shawls, Kenny Mack, and Josh All. We all dogs!
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh All, your host today. Happy Friday, everybody. I know it's been a pretty tumultuous week, obviously kicking things off on a Monday, no less. Everybody loves Mondays, right? With the Myles Garrett trade rumors in the morning, and then by the afternoon, he was a Los Angeles Ram. Things went quickly, but as we have found out since the trade, reading through articles and things that have been posted since then throughout the week, Albert Breer's article came out, I think, earlier this morning. This trade was in the works. This trade was a done deal well before Monday, so, it was coming, and the signs were there, but it doesn't make it any easier to digest. So that's what today's about. I've got your reactions, your voicemails. I've been collecting them throughout the week. I haven't even listened to them yet because I want to react live here on the show to you guys, your voicemails. We're going to start at the very beginning. Like the first voicemail, I'm going to go in order from when I got them. So we're going to take the early in the week reactions, and we'll end with the most recent reactions from you guys about the Myles Garrett trade. Before I dive into those and your feedback and your voicemails, I want to talk about OTAs this week and what the news and notes and the big things that came out from Wednesday's practice. That's the session that was open to the media, as it has been the last 2 weeks, and some of the information that we are starting to gather about this team ahead of training camp next month. So I appreciate you guys being here, tuning in again. I hope your weeks are wrapping up well, and it's Friday, so let's just enjoy it. Go to jointhedogs.com if you guys want to get into the Dog Pack community, the Discord, the private Discord. Get over there, hang out with everybody, and of course, sign up for fantasy football. I didn't check again this morning, but I'm sure we're closing in probably on 6 leagues, maybe already being filled up. Last year we had 9 total, so I think we're going to go past that this season because it hasn't even been a week yet. It's been 4.5 days or whatever that the registration has even been open. And we're filling up leagues. So get in now. We got Dog Pack fantasy football leagues kicking off in September. Obviously, the drafts will be late August, early September, but reserve your spot now. Jointhedogs.com. Okay. OTAs on Wednesday. Let's talk about that real fast before we go into the Myles Garrett voicemails from you guys. So I did a quick video on this yesterday, put it out on social media. I just want to expound a little bit on some of these notes. Biggest news from the day, Jared Verse. Did an episode yesterday talking all about Jared Verse, giving you guys some good background and information on him. I hope you guys watched that and enjoyed it. If you didn't, go back, check it out. He was there Wednesday at practice. Now, he was a limited participant just because it was his first day there. He didn't go through team drills. He just did individual drills. But it was really good to see all of the clips, all of the videos and pictures of Jared Verse at Browns training. Got traded on Monday and turned right around OTAs on Wednesday. He landed in Cleveland on Tuesday, and he was there on the field Wednesday. And interestingly enough, this was shared around social media quite a bit, and I gotta talk about it. He's rocking jersey number 8, which is already owned by Dillon Gabriel, who was still wearing number 8 at practice. I think that the writing is kind of on the wall for Dillon Gabriel. I'll get to the quarterback discussion here in a minute, but Todd Monken after practice on Wednesday talked about how he's not sure he's going to be able to name a starting quarterback ahead of training camp like he'd previously hoped. He said the quarterbacks are pretty much dead even in this competition. He said he leans one way or the other, day by day it changes. And his quote was, "We have 2 starting level quarterbacks." Well, that's Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. So Dillon Gabriel obviously not anywhere close to the conversation. And a lot of times when you get these new players that come in and they want their previous jersey number, they go to the guy who currently has it and they'll buy it from them or give them trade something to that player to get the number. Sometimes guys will just give up that jersey number if it's like what was it? Chris Godwin. I don't think Tom Brady had to buy his number 12 from Chris Godwin when he went to Tampa Bay. I think Godwin just, here you go. Greatest of all time. Your number is yours. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys, but I think that's how that one went down. But either way, Jared Verse shows up to Cleveland and he just takes number 8. Like he's just out there in number 8, didn't buy it, didn't do anything. Gabriel still has his jersey number 8. But I don't think that one is going to last very long. And then real quick, sorry guys, I meant to do this at the top of the show. Let me just interject another little promo here. But this is really cool. This is something you guys might be interested in. Tomorrow, Saturday, June 6th, so hopefully you're listening or watching this before that, at the Tuscarawas County Browns backers are hosting Josh Cribbs for a public autograph signing at Shenanigans Bar and Grill, 704 East Avenue, Dover, Ohio, 44622. If you're not familiar with the Tuscarawas County Browns backers, they're killing it. They are doing events that are just unreal and bringing in players, former players, alumni, all the time. It is a great crew, a great chapter, so make sure you guys check that out. Go to their Facebook page, see all the information. But tomorrow, June 6th, from noon to 2, okay, so from 12 to 2 at Shenanigans Bar and Grill in Dover, Josh Cribbs, if you guys are interested in that. And then the last thing, I promise I'll get out of this, and then we'll go right back into OTA stuff. We will be doing the live stream from the Bowling with the Pros event. Now, if you guys remember, we did this last year, and we're going to do it again this year. So at Hall of Fame Lanes, it's different. It was at Boulevard Lanes. That's what it is in New Philadelphia. No, I'm sorry, Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia or Dover, whatever it is. It's basically the same town. I know if you guys are from there, you're going to hate me saying that. I'm from Dover. It's the same town. But this one, Bowling with the Pros, Saturday, June 13th. So next Saturday, another Tuscarawas County Browns backers event will be at Hall of Fame Lanes. Bowler registration, $50 per bowler. If you want the autographed bundle, it's $200, includes one autograph from each of the guests. I'll read those to you in a second. And then $20 for non-bowler spectators. So if you just want to come along or bring somebody along, they're not actually going to participate in the bowling, but they want to be at the event, $20 a ticket. So make sure you guys check this one out as well. Bowling with the Pros, Saturday, June 13th. That's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, we will be there. It'll be me and Kenny Mack, and I think we're going to link up with Angel Ortiz from the Bearded Brown Show. We're going to be live streaming, or at least attempting to live stream. Remember, we're working with technology here and Wi-Fi connections. We should be good, but I guess you never know. But either way, that's the plan. Live streaming next Saturday, the 13th. Go check it out. Here's the list of guests: Hanford Dixon, Bob Golick, Felix Wright, Tom Darden, Greg Pruitt, Mike Pruitt, Travis Tucker, Anthony Griggs, Reggie Langhorne, Ben Davis, Joe Charbonneau, Campy Russell, Elmore Smith, James Black, and Santonio Holmes. I think Santonio Holmes might be iffy on that, but either way, he was on the original list here. And there is another guest that will be there, and I don't know if I'm allowed to actually say it right now, but I promise you guys will not be disappointed if you go. Let me just tell you that right now, especially if you're a fan of former Cleveland Browns quarterbacks. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, make sure you guys check that event out next Saturday. Okay, back to the OTAs from Wednesday, the report there. Mike Hall Jr., talked about him last week, went off with a hyperextended knee. He was back at practice, so that's good. I thought maybe he'd be out until training camp started. It looked worse than it was, obviously, last week, him going off the field. He had the wrap on the knee yesterday, but back at practice. That's a good sign because our defensive tackle depth is not very good because you've got Mason Graham at the top, who, by the way, is not practicing right now. I'm going to get to the list of guys that weren't practicing, and I just want to give you guys a heads up now. There are no reasons why. They don't have to give like an injury report. So when you see guys aren't practicing, most of the time, there's no explanation. We don't know why. They're just not out there. Mason Graham was not out there. I don't think he was out there last week either. But you got Malik Collins, who obviously isn't out there either because he's coming off the injury from last year. But they expect him to be ready for the start of the season. Then you got Mike Hall, who deals with injuries all the time. And then after that, it's like, I don't really know who's playing defensive tackle. So it's a slippery slope that we're rolling here with this defensive line as far as depth. But that's the situation with Mike Hall. He's back, so that's good. The injury could have been a lot worse than what it was. Defense was dominant this week at OTAs, at least on Wednesday when the media was present. These guys were talking about how multiple of the reps during team drills would have resulted in sacks on the quarterback. Zach Jackson from The Athletic had the tweet of the day. He said, "This is a top 5 OTA defensive performance that I've ever seen." So whether that was a little tongue-in-cheek and he's just kind of being his sarcastic self, there might have been some truth there because other people were saying as well, like the defense was just flying around at that practice and making plays. We had 2 UDFA cornerbacks that were making big plays all day, and this seems to be a common theme throughout the majority of OTAs the last 3 weeks. You got Nate Evans from Delaware and, of course, our guy Michael Coates Jr. from West Virginia. Michael Coates, obviously the guy that we're really hoping can lock down that nickel corner role for the Browns. He intercepted Deshaun Watson on a goal line pass on 7-on-7s yesterday that, quite frankly, you guys know how I feel about Deshaun Watson right now. A 10-year veteran quarterback should not be making that throw, especially in 7-on-7s. He rolls out because of no pressure. I don't know what he's doing. And just tries to force this pass in the end zone, and it was not there. And Michael Coates just picked it off. Like, okay. Well, that looks like what we remember from 2024. Spencer Fano, for the first time, at least in front of the media. When I say a lot of this stuff is like first time this, first time that, I'm talking about when the media is present, because the other days at OTAs, we don't know because the media is not allowed in there. But on Wednesday, Fano was actually finally with the first team offensive line. He hadn't been previously, and this week he was finally with the first team O-line. The first team offensive line this week consisted of Spencer Fano, Zion Johnson at left guard. Elkton Jenkins was playing center, which was noteworthy because he has not practiced the last 2 weeks, at least in the Wednesday sessions. And then Titus Howard was at right tackle. That was notable because Titus Howard had previously been absent from OTAs. He didn't come until this week. No reports, no reporters that were there that I was reading from or checking the notes and things mentioned who played right guard. I have no clue who played right guard with the first team offensive line on Wednesday because nobody reported it. It was not Tevin Jenkins because he was not at practice. He was another one on that list. So Todd Monken said that they've got pretty much 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen figured out. And then he made the note that Elkton Jenkins could still play guard or center. So that 5th starter, and this was a quote from Todd, remains to be seen. So you know you've got Fano, you know you got Johnson, Elkton Jenkins, and Titus Howard. Those are your 4 of the 5 starting offensive line, with the only wild card being Elkton Jenkins, whether he plays center or he moves over to right guard. And in my opinion, the only debate there is whether or not Tevin Jenkins is going to be the starting right guard or Parker Brailsford is going to be the starting center. That is the decision the Browns are going to have to make, in my opinion. Again, that is not a report. That is not based on anything I saw, read, or anything anybody else posted. But I'm just picking through clues, picking through notes and things. Luke Whippler's not practicing. Hasn't practiced yet at OTAs that I've seen. So obviously they're not debating about whether or not he's playing center right now because he's not practicing. Parker Brailsford, you've seen at least Tony Grossi in the past, I think it was last week, said wouldn't be surprised if he's running with the starting O-line come training camp. And Tevin Jenkins, we know, has had some run with the starting O-line at right guard. But again, not practicing. So that leads me to believe that it is down to the 5th spot between Tevin Jenkins either playing right guard or it's going to be Parker Brailsford playing center. That is your final spot. Elkton Jenkins will then slot in wherever the void happens to be. Again, this is just OTAs week 3. We got mandatory minicamp next week and then a long stretch until training camp. But that is my current gut feeling on how this offensive line is shaking out. Okay, so also not at practice this week. Denzel Ward, obviously not at OTAs at all. Grant Delpit was there last week but didn't practice. Nobody saw him this week. Malik Collins was not there. Again, Mason Graham was not there. So Emmanuel McNeil-Warren was there, but like last week, not practicing. And I'll repeat it again here, guys. I don't know why they're not practicing. That we don't get updates. We don't get information. And from what I've seen from these press conferences post-practice, nobody even bothers to freaking ask. Like, they want to ask Todd Monken how he feels about meeting with Deion Sanders. Let's talk about that here in a minute, by the way. But they won't ask, well, why is Mason Graham not out here? Like, just ask the pertinent questions, you idiots. The Cleveland media drives me nuts. No, let's talk about Deion Sanders. I'd like to know about my team and my players, please. Let me go. Give me media credentials. Please, let me go. I'll ask the freaking questions. Anyhow, back to this list here. Dom Jones, these are other names that were there at practice but not on the field practicing. So Dom Jones, Daniel Thomas, Kalia Davis, Elijah Chapman, Luke Whippler, Dylan Sampson, and Harold Fannin Jr. I keep getting the questions. Why isn't Fannin practicing? I don't know, guys. I wish somebody would ask. I really do. But we don't know. And it doesn't seem like any of the Cleveland media really cares to find out either. This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. All right, Browns fans, you know, we've all messed around with the sports books before, right? And let's be honest, you're always kind of playing against the house. But with Kalshi, it's different. You're not betting against some sports book. You're trading against other real-world people. There's no house trying to beat you. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. So if you think the public is wrong, like everybody's overreacting to these smoke screens in the draft or sleeping on a prospect, you can literally take the other side of the market. And it's not just sports either. You can trade on other real-world stuff, interest rates, inflation, even wild weather outcomes. It works like this. Simple yes or no markets, your risk is capped up front, and your payout is locked in. So if you trust your takes and instincts, and I know you guys do, go check out Kalshi and see what markets are live right now. So head over to kalshi.com/dogs, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS. Deposit just $20, and Kalshi's going to match you. They're going to put $20 free into your account. That's a great deal to get started. So again, kalshi.com/dogs, $20 match when you deposit $20 into your account. This episode is sponsored by Trollco. Browns fans, there's a phrase that has been used around the blue-collar world forever. Dirty hands, clean money. The idea that you show up, you put in the work, and you build your ideal life because of it. Sound familiar? That is Browns country. And Trollco is a clothing brand built around that very belief. Two guys who worked the oil patch looked around and could not find a single brand that represented people like them. So they started making workwear, tees, hoodies, and hats all by themselves. You know, gear for the person who works hard all week and still brings that same energy to the tailgate on Sundays. And I know I'm talking Cleveland in general, but Northeast Ohio is that blue-collar, work hard, earn what you have area. Whether it's you or somebody you know, a family member, your dad, your brother, uncle, whatever the case may be, you guys know what that dirty hands, clean money phrase truly means. So check out what they have to offer. Head to trollco.com/dogs. That's TROLLCO.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use code DOGS25 for 25% off your first order.
Sleeping hot? Waking up sweaty at 2 a.m.? It's not you, it's your sheets. And Care Aloha is your answer. They're the original for bamboo sheets that are naturally breathable, moisture-wicking, and luxuriously soft, designed to keep hot sleepers cool and comfortable all night long. You can feel the difference in how much cooler you sleep. Care Aloha's innovative bamboo fabric pulls heat away from your body so you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer without cranking the AC. Improve your sleep tonight. Shop Care Aloha bamboo sheets now at carealoha.com. That's CARILOHA.com. Cooler sleep starts with Care Aloha.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
As for your quarterback competition that's going on right now, Deshaun Watson opened the practice with the starting unit during the walkthrough period. But when they got to 11-on-11s and competitive team drills, it was Shedeur Sanders with the first team right away, and he took the majority of all the first team reps in those drills, the 11-on-11s, all the competitive sessions, all that stuff, 7-on-7s. Shedeur had the throw of the day. You guys have probably seen it. Again, I can't play it on the podcast here for copyright reasons. I'll get demonetized, but go check it out. It'll be on on our social media pages, primarily X, and you can find it anywhere you look for it. He had this deep pass. We saw it multiple times last year in games to Isaiah Bond. Beautiful pass. Right downfield, right in the breadbasket, touchdown pass to Isaiah Bond. And again, like I said the other day, Isaiah Bond, I'm not trying to overreact to spring practices, because if you're going to do that, then last year we would all thought Jamari Thrash was the wide receiver 2 and he's going to be a breakout candidate, all this stuff, because he was really tearing it up in OTAs and stuff. But Isaiah Bond seems to really be consistently making big plays every week so far at OTAs. Now, hopefully that trend continues into training camp and preseason, and he can take a next step in his second year. But so far, it has been positive news, positive reports about Isaiah Bond and the connection between him and Shedeur Sanders, especially the downfield passing. My goodness, it was there right away last year. We saw it in the Raiders game. Boom, 52-yard strike, almost for a touchdown. Should have been. He got touchdown at the 1-yard line, but they were making big plays downfield to him every week. So as far as a quarterback decision, I already said this, but again, Monken said he's not sure if the team's going to be ready to name a starter ahead of training camp like he'd originally hoped to do. I've been kind of questioning that this whole time, if you guys remember, because I keep saying too, I don't know how you can have this quarterback competition and say you want to get the best guy out there, but you're going to make the decision before you ever see them in a padded practice. Because, again, Deshaun Watson always looks good in shorts. Go back to any offseason program for the Browns since he's been here. It's been rave reviews. Put him in pads. Let him, get in front of a pass rush that's barreling down his neck and see if he can still make plays then, because we've seen he can't. So now Todd Monken seems to be a little more hesitant to, maybe we're not going to name a guy before training camp. And if you guys want my opinion, I don't think they will. I could be wrong. We could get through mandatories next week and they come out and say, so-and-so, we're going to name him the starter heading into training camp. Whatever. Again, I don't care who they name. I don't know if it'll stick, because I think both guys, whether it's Deshaun or Shedeur, you could name a guy the starter now, but that could change throughout training camp based on performance. I think it's all very touch and go until we get to the season. So we'll see how that plays out, but that's kind of my feeling right now. And then it's just, I guess, a little interesting note that came out last night. They finished up their OTAs yesterday on Thursday. Obviously, that one was not open to the media. But we found out that there was a college head coach who came to Browns came to Browns OTAs to watch practice because he was the head coach of one of our quarterbacks. People have been freaking out about this, right? For how long now, guys? I have been hearing that college head coach is going to come force his way into Browns practice. He's going to force his way into the Browns coaching. He's going to go talk to Todd Monken and try to influence this quarterback situation, everything else. College coaches shouldn't be doing that. Well, I can't believe Deion Sanders would do that, guys. I can't believe that actually happened. Okay, you guys know. It wasn't Deion Sanders. It was Dabo Swinney. Deshaun Watson's college football coach from 10, 11 freaking years ago. Just cracks me up, guys. It's just funny. I hope you guys are kind of chuckling along with me. Seriously, because we've heard the freakouts, whether it's Shador haters, Deion haters, Browns fans who just hate the Sanders family for whatever reason or not. Are like, I can't believe Deion Sanders would want to meet with Todd Monken. He's trying to force his way in. He's never even met with Todd Monken yet. But Dabo Swinney was at Browns OTAs yesterday and met with the coaching staff. It's funny because there's no outrage about it. Nobody gives a crap. But if it was Deion Sanders that came and did that, whoo, baby. It's all you'd hear about. It's the only thing you would hear about. But I guess, and this is another thing too. And if you guys are out there thinking of this, come on, drop it in the comments. Let me know. You got to be feeling a little bit like, okay, maybe I was stretching a little bit when you said things like, I can't believe Shador Sanders can't handle being an NFL quarterback without his dad, his college coach coming to help him out and all this stuff. Do you not feel the same about Deshaun Watson then? Maybe even more, considering that he's being paid $230 million to play that position for us. We traded 3 first-round picks to get him. Probably doesn't need his college coach from 11, 12 years ago to come to practice. I don't know. Thought that was weird. Thought it was interesting. But you guys let me know what you think about that. It wouldn't be an off season, guys, without some really weird and funny, humorous quarterback controversy in Cleveland. So either way, that wraps up OTAs for the 2026 offseason program for your Cleveland Browns. So no more OTAs. They are done. All that's left, mandatory minicamp next week. I think it's June 9th through the 11th or 12th, something like that. I believe Wednesday will be the only session open to the media yet again. And then after it's over, that's a wrap. These guys get out of Berea. They go their separate ways. They're gone. They are left to their own devices. They're not back in the building until training camp kicks off in late July. So stay tuned. Hang in there. We will cover mandatories next week. And then we got a long stretch where we'll be bringing you guys some differing content here throughout that summer break. Obviously, there won't be as much Browns news to hone in on, but we got some cool stuff planned. So just make sure you guys stay tuned with us for that. So, all right, first voicemail here today, or like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm going to go. I haven't even listened to these yet. I've been trying to hold off because I want to react live. I'm going to take it from the order I received them. So if you send a voicemail in earlier in the week, I'm going to go through those first. And then I will end with the most recent voicemail that I just got here this morning because I want to hear what the reactions were like earlier in the week compared to what they are now when we're a little further away from this trade happening. But it kind of breaks my heart here. This first one is from our boy Cooper, our little 9-year-old buddy down in El Paso. Cooper, man, I don't even want to listen to your voicemail. It's going to break my heart. I know how much you loved Myles Garrett. I mean, you still love him. I know you did your class report on Myles Garrett. And, well, let's just listen to the voicemail. We'll talk about it.
Hey, guys, Cooper's back. I'm really mad about that trade. But, I mean, at least we still got somebody, like, a bit good. Got a Pro Bowler guy. I'm still really, really freaking mad about that trade. Worst trade ever. That's it. And I'm out.
Worst trade ever. Cooper, come on, man. I love you. Adam, talk to your son. Deshaun Watson trade still exists. That one was that you can't beat that one in how bad of a trade it was. But Cooper, I'm with you, buddy. It sucks to lose Myles Garrett. And I promise you that Jared Verse is more than just a little good. I promise. And yeah, he's going to be a good, young, ascending player for this defense. I think he'll be the future leader of our defense. And unlike Myles Garrett, because I did want to say this, yesterday when I was doing the Jared Verse, and I was kind of leading into it, and then I got distracted, forgot the way my mind works. It's just how it goes. Let's not all pretend like Myles Garrett was, what do I want to say, perfect, okay? And I'm not trying to come at this, well, okay, we traded the guy, let's poo on him. No, that's not what I'm doing here. Obviously, he's one of the greatest Cleveland Browns players to ever play, is one of the greatest defensive players in NFL history. But let's not pretend like he was perfect. Let's not pretend like there weren't times during his 9 seasons here where we, as a collective fan base, you guys know this is true, where we were not complaining about him taking plays off, or him not showing up in games or moments when it really mattered, or him not having the impact that we were hoping for in crucial situations. Let's not pretend like those didn't exist. That happened. You guys know it happened. You're lying to yourself if you don't think it did. We complained about it on the show. We had episodes where we talked about, was Myles Garrett not given his full effort in this game? Or, are we worried about the lack of impact over this stretch of games, or whatever the case might be? And let's also not pretend like we didn't spend, and I see it on social media all the time, and it comes up every year when he doesn't come to OTAs. People question his leadership. Well, Myles isn't that great of a leader. And we've had episodes on this podcast where we've said, yeah, no kidding. He's not a good leader. That's not his role. That's not the role he embodies. That's not the role he ever took on. He'll go out on the field and dominate, but that's about the extent of it. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a gather the locker room around me type of guy. And he just never was. So let's not, obviously we are lamenting the loss of him not being here anymore. And everybody's got those googly eyes remembering the great times. And I love Myles Garrett as much as you guys do too. But again, let's just not pretend like he was perfect. And Jared Verse, already in 2 seasons in the NFL, you can see this from coaches, people within the Rams organization, teammates that he had there in LA. He's a very good leader, vocal leader. He's going to rally the troops in the locker room, on the sideline. I think that he is going to bring, obviously not the type of impact that Myles Garrett had on the defensive side of the ball, but he's going to bring his own impact, a very strong impact in its own right. It will be the Jared Verse impact. It won't be the Myles Garrett impact. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that what we're going to get with Verse, I think we're going to like it. So I'll just leave it at that. Cooper, I feel for you, buddy. This is tough. Welcome to Browns fandom, my little friend. All right, next one here. Let's get to this voicemail from Grant.
Hey, guys. It's your boy Grant here. I'm not sure if you heard or not, but Brendan Sorsby, the NCAA, denied his waiver for eligibility. So that means he might be going to the compensatory draft. Is that what it's called? I can't remember now. I know, Josh, you talked about it, I don't know, probably like a month ago, it seems like, maybe even longer. I don't think he'd be worth going after with a compensatory pick. I mean, the documents that came out, over $90,000 spent on gambling in 4 years. I mean, he placed over 40 bets on his one team when he was with Indiana. I just don't think it'd be worth the risk. That's the guy. He definitely has gambling addiction problems. I think he needs to go get help before he plays football. I don't think the Browns need it. We don't need any more quarterback drama anyway. So just putting something out there. See what goes on. Get your thoughts on it. Woo-hoo.
Okay, so Grant's voicemail was actually not about the Myles Garrett trade. It's about Brendan Sorsby. Yeah, man, I'll just hit this real quick because I don't want to dwell on it too much. You really laid out the situation there pretty well anyway in your voicemail for everybody to hear. I don't think I want to touch that situation. I think it's a really good idea for the Browns to obviously look into it, to investigate what it might take to get him, if he's even worth going after. You got to do your due diligence. Like I said last month when I did the show, if you don't have your quarterback locked into place, your answer solidified at the position, you have to explore all options that are out there. Whether or not you actually act on those options, well, that's based on your findings. And I think what it comes down to with Brendan Sorsby is pretty much what you said there. The talent right now, there's obviously raw talent that this kid has that is enticing to an NFL team, but it's not put together. And you're looking at, yes, they denied his eligibility. He's still going through the appeal thing. I don't even know where that stands right now because I kind of backed off of it because I'm not interested anymore. But with the gambling thing, and now there's talk that the NFL might suspend him for a full season even if he does come into the league, I just forget about it, guys. I don't think it's worth it. You're right. Absolutely, Grant. We have enough quarterback drama as it is. And a quarter, I should say, I see people say, we got enough quarterbacks with problems. We have one quarterback with problems, okay? That's it. Shedeur Sanders has no problems. People have problems with him, but he does not have problems. I want to make that very clear. He has done nothing but good things for the Cleveland community since he's been drafted. He's done nothing but work his ass off since he's been drafted and focus on being the best person and player he can be. I'm not trying to just butter him up here for you guys, but that's just the truth. That is just the reality. So, no, I'm good on Brendan Sorsby. Not worth it. I mean, I guess if you could flip a 6th round pick and get him, okay. But I'm sure some team will probably swing a 3rd if he goes to the supplemental draft, not the compensatory draft, the supplemental draft. You had me that whole time, Grant, through that whole voicemail. I'm sitting there going, what the hell is it called? What is that word? Because now I'm just thinking compensatory. I can't even think of the word supplemental anymore. I had to look it up while you were talking because I'm thinking, my gosh, I cannot remember the word. But thanks for the voicemail. Appreciate hearing from you. And, well, actually, Grant, it looks like you sent me 2. So maybe the second one's about Myles? Okay, actually, scratch that. I started listening to the voicemail. I realized that's the one that you sent, and we played on Monday during the show. So, again, thank you, Grant. The next voicemail, now that I know we're going to get to, this one's from Claude.
Hey, gang. Claude from Uriel. So I quit my job in Toronto. So that's why I haven't been calling in. I don't drive around all day. Apologize. I know how much you value my thoughts. But I just wanted to call in and just let you guys know how stoked I am. Especially as an international fan. I don't think a lot of Americans realize this. But especially as an international Cleveland Browns fan. When someone asks me, why are you a Cleveland Browns fan? I have to, pour my heart out. My family's from there, so much more than that. I grew up across the lake, blah, blah, blah. But we got a team and we got some solid draft picks now. Yeah, we lost the GOAT, but I'm stoked. Like I said before, the bandwagoners are coming and they're coming, dude. They're coming. But as for everything else, I'm stoked for Shedeur. If Deshaun comes out and he does kill it, he's getting a Dumbledore clap from me at most. Like you said, I'm a Browns fan. I'm going to be stoked for the Browns, but I'm going to have a hard time cheering for Deshaun. But, I'm not going to boo him. Anyway, go Dogs, go Browns. Woof, woof.
Shadon. Oh my gosh. That is the worst celebrity couple name ever. Shadon. You crack me up, dude. All right, Claude, I hope your new job's going very well. And all of that. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess that's a different type of voicemail than what I was expecting to get, especially early on in the week. But I was talking to some people here the last couple of days, and they were asking me about this, Myles Garrett trade. And I said, honestly, I feel like fans are one way or the other. You're either ate up about it and just pissed and upset, or you're looking at it saying, yeah, he didn't want to be here anyway, and his value is not going to ever be any higher than it is right now. We got a damn good player in return, plus premium draft capital. And I know everybody's going to say, well, that 2027 first round pick is going to be a late pick. Yeah, very, very likely. It very likely will be. Doesn't mean that's where we're using it. Okay? That pick, the thing is, the way this last draft went too, with the Browns being able to trade back, collect extra draft capital, land 4 first round projected players in the first 2 rounds, it really set this roster up to a point where next season, if you wanted to package picks and move up from wherever you are in the first round to go get your guy, if Shedeur doesn't work out, I'm still holding out hope that Shedeur can show us something. But if it's for a quarterback, or hell, we want to trade up and try to go get Jeremiah Smith. I know you guys all love Jeremiah Smith. I do too. Now options are on the table to go be aggressive rather than being more conservative and trying to maximize value. Now you can be a little more ballsy with your picks and say, you know what? Let's go get that guy, that dude that we want. And getting Jared Verse helps that as well, because now you're not sitting there saying, well, we need to find our top edge rusher of the future and that kind of thing. You've already got him. You've already got your DE1, your franchise defensive end on the roster. That's a huge move, in my opinion. And that is how I feel. That's how I feel about Jared Verse. This episode is sponsored by Butcher Box for Pets. Browns fans, Butcher Box for Pets has a deal you cannot pass up for your four-legged family members. Right now, you get 50% off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Just go to butcherboxforpets.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. It can get confusing because we're the dogs, we love our fellow dogs, our Dog Pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful. But let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. And they're not just pets, like I said, they're part of the family. So the question is, what are you actually feeding them? At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain 0 artificial flavors or preservatives. I know our house wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. Absolute dumbest dog in the world, but we love him like crazy. And it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of those factory processed blocks from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to add dog food to your shopping list ever again. ButcherBox delivers their high-quality food right to your door. Just choose the delivery schedule that you need for your dog, and you can change, modify, pause, or cancel your plan at any time. So try it out today. Your dog will love you for upgrading their meal times. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs and use promo code DOGS, DAWGS, to get 50% off. That's right, half off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition fresh dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Minimum purchase of just $34. 50% discount applies to subscription orders only. One use per customer, and you can cancel at any time. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs. Browns fans, we just partnered with Fanatics to bring you guys the best Browns gear available. Head over to brownsmerch.com to check out everything in our storefront. I know you guys want that new Shedeur Sanders #2 jersey. We've got those in there. Rock the Depoy and the D-Roy jerseys with Myles Garrett and Carson Swessinger, along with the other studs from last year's draft. We've got a collection of Browns hats, T-shirts, and hoodies you can browse through too. Again, that's brownsmerch.com to check out our Browns gear powered by Fanatics. So thank you, Claude. Always appreciate hearing from you. Man, don't be sarcastic. You know we love your thoughts. We love hearing your opinions. Obviously, we always play them on the show. Same as we do for our boy Kurt, who's up next.
What's up, guys? Kurt from Jersey. First of all, I'd like to pitch a spin-off podcast with me and Justin from Jersey as the Jersey Dogs, and we'll figure out the franchise amount later. But listen, guys, seriously, the dust is settling on the Myles trade. Maybe not settling, but it's the day after, so a little bit clearer thoughts coming through. Look, if you've been a Browns fan for a long time, this is just the status quo. If you're a new Browns fan or a younger Browns fan, dude, they once traded our entire team to Baltimore for, we got an expansion, bad college team in return. It's just the way it goes, man. Nobody's here for a long time until we get a solid winning team, Don't get used to anybody. Anybody could go at any time. But, look, it is what it is. Let's go Browns. Yeah. Bye, Myles.
Kurt, I don't know if you were joking about doing your own spinoff podcast, but I'll tell you what, buddy. Hit me up, DM me on Discord, and let's talk about that idea. If you and Jersey Justin want to put together your own little once a week or, every other week little podcast episode, or we can call it the Jersey Dogs, version of the Dogs or whatever. I'll edit it. I'll set you guys. I will hook you up. I will set you up with the recording platform. You jump on, do your show. Done. I will edit it and I will post it as a segment of the Dogs podcast. If you'd like to, I'll just put that out there here for everybody to hear, because I think you guys are hilarious and cracking me up all the time. So hit me up. Let's see if maybe there's something we can work out there. But I hear the pain in your voice at the end after you tell everybody, don't get used to any players around here. It is what it is. But the pain with the bye Myles. I know, man. I was anticipating this trade for a long time. Not this specific trade, not too specifically the Rams, but just the trading of Myles Garrett. I was going to be more shocked if they didn't trade him this summer than if they did. Let's put it that way. So I was kind of already prepared for it, but it does speak to how, I've said this before, I'm a fan of the team before I'm a fan of any player. Everybody that's on this team, I was a fan of the team long before they were here, and I will be a fan of the team long after they are gone. But it is really hard at the same time not to get attached to certain players while they're here. It's because it's the human thing, man. We're humans, they're humans, and they're pouring their heart and soul out there for the team that we love. I'm already attached to Harold Fannin Jr. I love the guy. So it's one of those things. I get it. And, but Kurt's right. If you guys are newer Browns fans, Cooper, younger Browns fans, and you're not, battle tested and you don't have all the emotional scars that us older guys and gals do, this is the big one for you. You'll remember this one forever. But next voicemail, this one is from Garen.
What's up, guys? This is Garen from Arkansas. Just wondering, after the Myles Garrett trade, how you guys feel regarding the season. I know we're not going to be a contender, obviously. We knew that before the trade. But with this trade happening, we definitely are. It's going to be for the progress of the team, obviously. So with that being said, what are your thoughts about Todd Monken now? Is he going to be the scapegoat? Is it going to be close to the situation like with the Texans a couple years back with David Culley? Do you think we do the same thing with Todd Monken? And then with that being said, if he starts Shedeur to start the season and he struggles and we're losing, do you think Todd Monken makes a change because he fears for his job, or has he already been granted that security, you guys think? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Garen, thanks for the voicemail there. So Blake said this Monday. I 100% agree. Whatever your expectations were for this team when Myles Garrett was still here should probably be your same expectations now that he's gone. The reason being, we won 8 games the last 2 years, and Myles Garrett was having the best seasons of his career. And we won 3 games and 5 games. So it's not like we lost Myles Garrett and replaced him with nothing. Jared Verse is a day one plug and play, high end. I don't know if we want to say like elite tier yet, but I mean, if you look at his pressure rates on the quarterback, he's got the third most. It's Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Jared Verse. Jared Verse is a very high level player. So we're replacing Myles Garrett with not a major step down. Okay. Obviously, no matter what you replace him with is going to be a step down, many steps down from Myles Garrett. He's the greatest in the league. But it's not a far drop from Myles Garrett to Jared Verse. Not as far as a lot of people may have felt right away or may even still feel. But I'm telling you guys, we've got a good plug and play, day one, young starter. And I think that if you were expecting the team to win 6 to 7 games this year, stick with it. 6 to 7 games. Whatever you thought before is what you should still think now. I don't think this has that big of an impact on it. The bigger impact is what you were talking about at the end there. Who plays quarterback and how do they go? How do they do? If it starts with Shedeur and he struggles, I don't. It's just hard for me to envision a world where you go to Deshaun, because I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson's gonna suck. Like he's gonna suck. It will have been 700 days again before he plays another down of actual football action in a game. The last time that happened, he sucked bad. This time, he's coming off of multiple injuries, plus 700 days of being off the field in game action. I just don't see how it could possibly happen. But I don't know, man. I don't really have a good read on this Todd Monken thing yet with this hire. I could see it both ways, Garen. I don't mean to fence straddle here, but there's a path where I see like maybe he did get scapegoated on this thing. And then I also see a world where it's like, no, they did tell him like, hey, you're going to be here for at least 2 seasons. We just want to get through this one. See if you can develop Shedeur, see what happens, but you're coming back for 2027 regardless. I don't know, man. And I know Blake wants to talk a lot about on this show when he comes on how, well, it all comes down to how many wins. And at the end of the day, yes, the record is what matters. But for me, there's so much context too. Well, how many wins did we have? How many losses? And how did they happen? Because like with Kevin Stefanski, yeah, we lost, 12 games last year, but they were really bad losses because there were 2 or 3 of them that we should have won. That's the kind of stuff that gets you fired. If you lose 12 games and it's because the other team they were just better than you. They just had better talent, but you fought tooth and nail, but they just edged you out at the end or something like that. It's different than losing by giving up, multiple special teams touchdowns to the Jets and then just not being able to move the ball on a team when you're holding the quarterback to like 5 yards the entire game and you still lose. That's the kind of stuff that gets you fired. But we'll see. I wish I had a better answer for you, Garen, on that one. But I think what happens here through training camp and into the preseason, we'll start to get a better understanding of how this relationship and how this Todd Monken deal came to be. But I still have my high hopes for what he's going to be able to do with this offense and the new offensive weapons. You got to remember, too, I don't think when you talk about Shedeur struggling, I don't think it can be anything like what we saw last year. He's got an all new offensive line. Can they gel? Can they work together? How long does that take? Well, that's going to be a big factor. But man, you talk about improving the weapons on offense. Yeah, I think there's definitely reason for optimism there. All right, we got 2 left. This one is from Zach, aka Fake Burns.
Okay, this is Zach, aka Fake Burns. Really had to decompress and let the trade set in before I left a voicemail. I was even telling my buddy that before I submitted one. Shout out Ado. But Myles Garrett has been my favorite player. I'm 23 years old, and he has been on the team since I was 13. Met him one time in a Walmart in like 2019 when I was in high school. Genuine dude, cool moment. I'll never forget it. So this is a hard pill to swallow. Kind of hoped he would be a Brown forever. So I was really upset with the trade when it first happened, but the more I let it sit, the more I'm okay with it. Like Blake said, I think it sets up our future amazingly. Maybe not this season, but these guys are young. I mean, it reminds me of the Cavs a couple of years ago, and now look at us in Eastern Conference Finals this year, but still young. Lots of potential for growth and to be a good team. This is how you rebuild. I feel like the Browns haven't actually done a proper rebuild my entire life. So hopefully this is it. Hopefully they're doing it right this time. And with Myles going to the Rams, hopefully they win a Super Bowl in 2 years, so our first round pick can be better, but really rooting for him to win a Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP. Go Browns. Hoo-hoo.
Thanks for the voicemail, Zach. Always great to hear from you. I know it's been a minute. Yeah, again, for the younger Browns fans out there, I mean, Myles Garrett's been here for 9 years, almost a decade. That's a long time for anybody's lifespan. I mean, for me, it means I would have been, 26-ish, something like that. Today's my birthday, actually. I guess when you get older, you kind of forget when your birthday is. It just kind of dawned on me. That is actually today. Yeah, so it's a long stretch, a decade of your time, of your life with one guy on the team. But one thing you did mention there at the end that I thought was interesting about how it feels like the Browns are actually doing the rebuild correctly this time, because I agree. The last time we did this, obviously we had the Hugh Jackson years where we went 1-15, 0-16. Those are some fun times if you weren't around for that. The rebuild, and a lot of people like to go back and say, oh, John Dorsey was such a great general manager. If you remember, the way he was kind of working through that rebuild has been described as throwing crap against the wall and hoping it sticks. He was just spraying and praying. And if you go back and look at some of the drafts that he had, not that Andrew Berry's earlier drafts were any better, but he could get some good players, but man, could he miss on guys. And what the Browns have done with this rebuild, I'm not really sure what was all happening the first 4 or 5 years of Andrew Berry's tenure here with the drafts, and they missed on so many guys, but they did collect some talent. And, you get you guys like Grant Delpit. Unfortunately, somebody like JOK, that didn't work out due to the injury. No fault of his own. But this specific rebuild moment that we are in feels like the type of rebuild we watch other teams do and wish that we could do, where they know, okay, we're not really competing for a championship right this minute, but let's rebuild, but let's do it more like a retool where we do this crap real fast, like boom, boom, boom. We know what we need. We go and we get them, and we get guys that aren't going to take 4 or 5 years to actually get into their prime or whatever. We're going to get guys that can contribute now, and their development window is short because they are really good players. They don't need a long time to develop. It's going to happen quick. That's what it feels like. Now, it actually has to take place and it has to happen. But the way it's shaping up, Zach, I do agree with you that we could look back on this. Obviously, we're Browns fans. Longtime Browns fans like me, you guys know you always have to throw the caveat in, but it's the Browns. Could things go real bad? Yep. Sure could. Sure have. They always do. But there is also a reason to believe that at some point in the future, we're going to look back on this short rebuild here, these years of this rebuild, and say, that's when they turned things around and became a good team. I hope that's the case. That's the way I'm choosing to roll with it right now. Again, we are Browns fans, so we know that there is definitely a way it goes bad. But I don't want to go down that path today. I want to be happy. Like I said, it's my birthday. I want to be happy today. So let's just stay happy. And we're going to stay happy here with our final voicemail of the day, if I can get it over here. Philip.
How you doing, guys? This is Philip from Dubai. My thoughts on the Myles Garrett trade are very simple. First, it was a punch in the gut. And then I listened to your episode and I really appreciated how you took the emotions out immediately. Like off the bat, let's look at this from a business perspective, and it's a win-win for everybody. The Rams hopefully complete their roster and hopefully they win the Super Bowl. I want this whole thing to work out for them. It'd be great. Also because Garrett will get his ring, and he would have probably not gotten it in the next couple of years. But then, to be honest, for me, the problem I have, and I'm not trying to take a shot at him, is for me, there was a lack in leadership from his part. He was not very vocal about certain things. He was not the locker room guy. I mean, from what I know, I wasn't in the locker. But I would have liked for him to show up to all these OTAs, especially after the contract. He was asked to be a leader, and it's just for me, role model. I know these OTAs don't make him a better player. He doesn't need to be there. But it would have just, it would have sent a signal. It would have just been, what a role model, what a leader does. And hearing Versus press conference, I feel like we got a good person here. And this is something I want to address as well. I know we're not going to have success this year, probably a lot of success. But for me as a person, I just love that the Browns are getting good human beings on their roster right now. Looking at the people they have, they just look great. And this is for me something that makes me personally very happy at first. So let's see where this goes. Go Browns. Woof, woof.
All right, Philip. Man, that was the freaking voicemail I wanted to end on today, man. Thank you for that. You delivered for this one. Yeah, I already touched on the leadership thing with Myles, so you're right there with me on that. Good to hear. You got to kind of take emotion out of it too at some point, because if you get emotional, well, you're just going to be sad all the time with the things the Browns do for the most part. But really, the business side of this move made sense. And I was thinking about this earlier. I might do a short video about it just to get everybody's opinion out there as well. But, if you look at it from both sides, everyone wants to say right away, well, who won the trade? Who won the trade? Well, if you look at it from the Browns side, can you really win a trade where you depart with your best player, with one of the absolute best players, not just in the league, but in history? I don't think you ever win a trade where you lose that player, where you remove that guy from your team. I don't think you ever win that trade. Look at it from the Rams side of you. Do you ever win a trade where you give up one of your up-and-coming, ascending top players at the position in the whole league, best young players at the position? Do you ever win a trade where you give that guy up plus a first-round, second, and third-round pick in the future? I don't think a team would ever say, yeah, we won that trade. So if you just look at it in terms of what each side gave up, not what each side collected, but what each side gave up, I don't think either side really won. They just did what was necessary in their situation. Myles Garrett didn't want to be here. We knew that from last year. And that kind of speaks to what you were saying, Philip, as far as a leader. He's not the locker room guy. He's not the rah-rah guy. It's really hard to go out there and be a leader for your team and get everybody rallied around you when you don't even want to be there in the first place. And everybody knows that. Everybody can feel that. Yes, you go out there and you pressure the quarterback and you get your sacks and it's great during the game. But I'm sure at practice during the week in the locker room when they're working out, the vibes are probably like, it's kind of like, you guys know out there at work, you guys know when you're working with somebody who really doesn't want to work that job. Like they don't care about that company. They really don't want to be there. They got their eyes elsewhere. Yes, they're doing their job the best they can when they have to, but for the most part, they don't want to be there. You can tell. And it affects everybody around them. It does. So, and for the Rams, I'm sure they didn't want to, I know they didn't want to give up Jared Verse. Did not want to give up Jared Verse. And they end up giving up him and all those draft picks. And I'm sure they didn't really want to do that, but it's like, but we need Myles right now. Myles Garrett is an upgrade over Verse, and he will help us get to the Super Bowl and win it right now, which is what we want to do. So you make sacrifices. You cave on something you don't necessarily want to do, but you need to do, and this is too good of an opportunity to pass up in the situation. That could be said for both sides, and I think it was, when you look at it from that perspective, I don't think there's a winner or a loser. I think both teams got what they needed, did what they had to do, and we move forward. So I appreciate hearing from everybody. Thank you all for sending your voicemails. It's been a tough week. I know whenever you trade away the best player, one of the best players in your franchise history, that sucks. It rocks the boat. Like, it shakes people to the core. But it's not like we got nothing back. So there's really good hope. Like Philip ended there for the show. I thought that was a great way to say it too. We got good young players, good young people, good young men on this team now. And I think you're going to see a culture shift in the Cleveland Browns with these guys. And I think it's going to translate to the field. That's my hope. That's my wish. And that's my belief. So we won't know until September. But until then, I'm going to believe it, and I'm going to speak it into existence. So thank you guys for being here today. Again, check out the Josh Cribbs event tomorrow, Saturday, Shenanigans Bar and Grill in Dover, Ohio with the Tuscarawas County Browns backers. And then next Saturday, I'll talk about it again next week. But next Saturday, June 13th, will be the Bowling with the Pros event up at Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton. I don't even know if I mentioned that earlier. Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton. Next week, we'll be there live streaming. It's going to be a ton of fun, so make sure you guys check that out. Go to jointhedogs.com if you want to play fantasy football with us. Sign up now. Get into the fantasy leagues. Hang out. Sync up in the private Discord. It's just a great place. The best online diehard Browns fan community you're going to find. A lot of fantastic people in there. So get in, get connected, and again, play fantasy with us. It is so much fun every year. We love doing those leagues. So have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the weather. It's summer. We're almost through this spring program, and we'll have a little break until training camp starts, and then we'll start getting some real answers about this team when the pads come on. But for now, that's what I got for you guys. Love you, appreciate you, and let's go Browns.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Follow us on social media at the Dogs Podcast. And join our dog pack community at jointhedogs.com. We all dogs!
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.